Please welcome to the stage Zuzana Janos.
So, when I moved to Canada, Alberta, in 1997, I told to my European friends that in Canada, I won't need to deal with either politics or socialism. Well, now I'm involved in politics and fighting socialism in Alberta. My awakening started in May 2015 when the NDP won our provincial election. All of a sudden I could hear again the same communistic slogans and faces, but this time in English. I can recognize any sign of totalitarian ideology, no matter how subtle it is. If someone is trying to say me against my will, I'm ready to fight back. You will never convince me that mandating anything is for greater good. When I realized that most Canadians don't understand indoctrination, I decided to write an article with the title, I Survived Communism. Are you ready for your turn? It was published online by Spencer Fernando in January 2019. In this article, I described methods developed and used by the KGB to subvert society. My fellow Albertans, I can assure you, all these methods are being used right now, right here. Canada is marching towards totalitarian state. We are in state of psychological war. The most important stage of totalitarian subversion is divide and conquer. In order to subvert society, citizens must be turned against each other. How is this achieved? By turning women against men. That was Me Too movement. By turning races against each other. That is Black Lives Matter movement. By turning us against oil and gas industry, farmers, ranchers. That is climate change narrative. And now, by turning vaccinated people against unvaccinated people. This is not about health. This is about control. The Nazi Minister of Propaganda, Joseph Goebbels, was asked the same question. His answer was one word: fear. Fear is the primary tool to keep people silent and obedient. What is the oldest and strongest fear? It's a fear of death, which triggers survival instinct. Think COVID-19. What is the primary tool to spreading fear? The mainstream media. Let me mention another quote from Joseph Goebbels. If you will tell a big lie often enough, people will eventually believe it. Do you know how to recognize when media are lying to you? Whenever they keep repeating the same narrative, day and night, you should be suspicious. If they respond, if you want to confirm your suspicions, try contradict their narrative publicly. If they will respond by demonizing you, threatening you, calling you names, ridiculing you, or trying to silence you, then you know they are spreading propaganda.
Fact checkers! Fact checkers!
So what we can do? How do we stop this indoctrination? There are 4 things which we must, all of us, to do right now. Don't believe the mainstream media. Don't let them to scare you. Don't allow yourself to become divided. It's not us or them. Don't let them to destroy our families. Don't let them to turn us into the nation of snitches. Don't help them to becoming informer. In 1959, the Soviet dictator Khrushchev said, "You North Americans are so gullible. We can take you without firing one shot." Was he right? Are we so gullible just like he predicted. Here is what will happen if we will let this dictatorship win. Our Western culture and personal freedom will be eliminated by so-called cancel wall culture. Personal wealth will be confiscated. Travel will be restricted. Stampedes and rodeos will become things of past. Your children will become the property of the state. Parents will have no say in their education. You will no longer be self-reliant. Small businesses will cease to exist. Big ones will be controlled by government, just like in Nazi Germany, Soviet Russia, and now in Communist China. My fellow Albertans, we cannot allow that this happen. We cannot condemn our children and grandchildren to the misery of totalitarian slavery. Hold the line. Stand for freedom.